My sweet friends, Laurel here. And before you dive into this episode of Sleepy Bedtime Blessings, I need to let you know it's a little bit of a different episode than what you're used to. It was recorded on the balcony of our hotel, right on the beach in Santa Cruz, California, in the early hours of the morning. And I hadn't been planning on recording an episode for you, so I didn't have my recording equipment. And all I had was my Apple issued earphone with its microphone that happened to be rubbing against my sweatshirt, but I didn't realize it until after listening back to the recording. But the recording is really sweet and heartfelt and spontaneous, and Wes makes an appearance, and I really want to share it with you, even though the audio isn't great. So here we go. Enjoy it. And yes, I know the audio is terrible on it, but the content is sweet, and I hope you enjoy it. I will be back with a regular kind of episode that you're used to soon. So I love you very much and enjoy our escapades from our balcony.
Hello, beautiful friends. I am Laurel Bleadon-Maffei with Illuminating Souls, welcoming you to this episode of Sleepy Bedtime Blessings, a podcast designed to help you rest, relax, and fall asleep, all while deepening in your connection with your beautiful team of angels who love you so. Usually this is the part where I introduce myself, but since most of you have listened before, you might notice that the audio is a little bit different than what you are used to. And this is because I am recording this episode from the balcony of our hotel right on the beach in Santa Cruz, California. It's about 6 a.m., but we just set the clocks back, so I don't know what time it really would be, but it's just before sunrise, so it's still dark out. The waves are coming upon the ocean, and off in the distance you might be able to hear the seals barking and the seabirds singing as this day awakens. And even though the day is awakening and you are perhaps drifting off to sleep, it is still that beautiful, still energy that is so soothing and comforting. So I didn't want to pass up this opportunity to record this episode for you. Even though I don't have my recording equipment with me, I'm using my iPhone and my my Apple provided headset. So the sound quality is going to be a little bit different than what you're used to, but the payoff is you get to hear the ocean with me, and perhaps getting to listen to the ocean with me will soothe you the way it is soothing me right now. I'm hearing the birds in the distance. So I'm going to be quiet quite a bit in the next hour so you can hear the beauty of the ocean. And the barking of the sea lions and the screeching of the gulls. And my hope is that this beautiful, loving energy will help to soothe you the way it's soothing me right now. So Wes had planned this trip for us months ago, before either one of us knew what would be happening in the world right now. And as I've shared with you before, I am not a great traveler anymore. But he had the sense that coming up here this weekend would help to degauze me, as he said, degauze. And if you don't know what that word means, it means to erase or clear. When I was in the television industry, we used the word to degauze the tapes, which would mean we would run the tapes over a big magnet and the contents of the tape would be erased. So Wes had this vision that our time here at the ocean would help to degauze me, and perhaps listening to it and having me share the energy with you will help to degauze you too. And just so you know, Wes is sitting on the balcony with me, resisting the urge to chime in. But he is here sending you love as well. We have done a couple of beach walks, and he has assembled some lovely beach rocks that are in a sacred formation right now on the table in our balcony. So there's a lot of sacred energy here for you right now, and the angels are streaming in for us all. So I invite you just to take some nice deep breaths in and out. And just allow Mother Ocean and the angels to help to clear your energy field through the heart of God. So it's really early, but I'm just seeing there is one person walking the ocean. They've got the right idea. They're there at sunrise walking the ocean. Such a beautiful time to be in the oneness of the connection with Mother Earth. And just the rhythm of the ocean, it is just so hypnotic. We're watching a bird fly over the ocean. And we're right off of the pier, which we haven't walked down yet. Wes promises that we will walk down the pier. I'm thinking maybe after I record this, we should go walking the pier at sunrise, because I'm not great with the sun. As a everything about me is fair, I guess is what I'm saying. I burn in the sun, is what I'm trying to communicate to you. Me and daylight, I could spend a little bit of time there, but being in the sun for very long is not great for me. So this would probably be a wonderful time to go walking on the boardwalk. We'll negotiate for that in a few minutes. But first, I have this episode to bring to you. It's just beautiful. And I hope you can feel the beauty of this as I share it with you. So while we're here, perhaps I can share with you some of the randoms from this trip so far. So, again, as I record this, we're in early November in 2023, and a lot is happening in the world. So I came to this trip feeling pretty exhausted and overwhelmed by life. And so the expectation was low that I just had to sit here and let the ocean do what the ocean does. And I will have to say it's working, because the rule of our marriage is my husband is always right. even if I resist him and make it difficult for him. He's always right, because he's a very wise man who's pretending not to hear me right now. He's shaking his head no. That is not true, he says. He will not accept my praise of his wisdom. So we got here on Friday and did a little bit of a beach walk then. And then yesterday was Saturday. And I don't know if you've been to Santa Cruz, California recently. It is really crowded. There are lots of cars and there's some sort of construction happening in town somewhere, so driving is crazy. And there's lots of people on bicycles and lots of pedestrians, so getting around town isn't easy. We had, sorry, there's a non sequitur there. My was just because there's a person with a dog. Let's take a little time out. I'll come back to my story. But first, for right now, there is a very, very happy dog on the beach with its person. The dog is running everywhere. There must be so many wonderful smells for the dog. Oh, Wes wants me to tell you, he's digging around in the seaweed because there are these big piles of seaweed on the sand. And this dog is so happy. Let me just share the happiness of this dog with you for a moment. Oh, if I could just borrow a dog for the next 20 minutes and go on the sand, that would be awesome. But we're just going to vicariously experience the beauty of the moment with this dog and its person as the waves come in. Okay, back to the story though, because I'm having a harder time seeing the dog as they get further away. So we got in on Friday. So yesterday we just had a few errands to run. We had to go to we didn't have to. We chose to go to Costco to get some gas and a couple of things that we needed. And then there's a really great sort of healthy health food store called Staff of Life. And they make these wonderful muffins that I enjoy and rice pudding that are not sweetened with regular sugar. So we stopped there. And we had to go to the pharmacy for something. So not a lot, but somehow it turned into 2 hours. And then I decided I wanted to go to the farmer's market because I always want to go to a good farmer's market. To me, it's how other people feel about Disneyland. I feel like a farmer's market. I love a good farmer's market. And we're using the GPS because I don't know my way around Santa Cruz. And we get close to the farmer's market and everyone is battling for a parking space. And my GPS says, turn left into the parking lot. And what do you know? There is a parking lot with an electronic gate that's open. So since I'm driving and making quick decisions, I pull into the parking lot because that's what the GPS told me to do. And parking was easy. And Wes's radar's going off like, I don't know that we're supposed to be here. It shouldn't be this easy because everyone else is struggling. And what do you know happened? The gate closed behind us. And all the gates were closed. And we were now locked in this parking lot because apparently the gate had opened because somebody who actually was supposed to park there had just come in. But we didn't know that part. So now we're stuck in a gated parking lot right next to the farmer's market that we cannot get to. And we have no idea how we're going to get out. So there's a little placard right outside the gate for the tow company. So if your car gets towed while you're parking in an unauthorized fashion, you can call the tow company. So we call the tow company, and they're very nice, but they say they don't know the number for whoever manages this lot. But they gave us the number for the non-emergency dispatch line for the police. So we call them. We say, so sorry, we're tourists. we made a bad left turn into a parking lot we're not supposed to be in, and now we can't get out, but it's not an emergency. And they said they would dispatch someone at some point. Okay, all right, well, good. So we wait another half hour and no one's coming. And meanwhile, all of these people are going to the farmer's market that we can't get to. And I see a guy walking down the street to the farmer's market, and I hello him over. Like, hey, hi, can you help? At the farmer's market, there should be a manager's desk or something. Do you think you could just see if there's someone there who might know the code to this gate? Because it was a parking lot where other people from the farmer's market, like the vendors, had parked. And he said he would try. And sure enough, about 10 minutes later, this very lovely woman comes over and she puts in the code to let us out. So we were trapped for about an hour. Wes says an hour and a half. Maybe he's right about that, because he's right about everything. He's watching the dog and his person go around the corner. And another person, oh, there's like 3 more people on the beach now. We are getting towards daylight, people. Daylight is coming. And by that point, Wes and I were both finished. We were aggravated, and we had over-peopled. And we came back. Oh, we did go to Whole Foods to get our lunch and dinner for the day. And then we came back to the hotel, both kind of aggravated by how things went down. Okay, now there's 2 people running on the beach, jogging perhaps. There are people who get up and they run on the beach. I feel like I should be singing the song from Chariots of Fire. Is it Chariots of Fire? Oh, Wes nods yes. So, okay, we'll say I'm right about that. I'm somebody who stays in my pajamas on the balcony of my hotel. There are people who run on the beach, and then there are people who stay on their balcony in their pajamas and a sweatshirt. And you know which one I am. Okay, again, podcast for sleeping. Bar is very low for me to make any sense. I just realized I didn't even call in the angels. Well, you know they're here, right? Of course they're here. So just take a deep breath in. And beautiful angels on high, we know that you are here already. So please, please infuse this broadcast with waves of love and light and beauty and goodness and service to our beloveds here. I am so deeply grateful for this time together. I ask that you bring prayers of healing and light and love to all of our friends who are listening. And dear ones, if you have any prayers that you would like to bring to the angels, I invite you to do so now. And as you have surmised, we are already in story time. Oh, it's a different person walking their dog on the beach, because this dog is on a leash. The dog before was not on a leash, but they're both smaller dogs. So I was confused. Okay, back to the unfolding of our day yesterday, which involved us getting locked in a parking garage and not making it to the farmer's market because we were both so aggravated by that point. The idea of having to look for a legal parking space at that point was just too much for us to bear. So, alas, we did not make it actually into the farmer's market. We were in close proximity to it, tantalizingly so. But that's life. So we come back here to the hotel, and we're on the 4th floor, and our balcony is right on the beach, overlooking the beach. And so Wes just encouraged me to sit out here. Oh, okay, now we've got, is this a different dog or the same dog? Because this dog is not on a leash. But it's a different dog than the one that was on the leash. Wes and I are having a side conversation about it. So this is the first dog we saw that was not on a leash, is now coming back this way. Very happy that he is not leashed, or she is not leashed. But meanwhile, the leashed dog has gone around the corner where we can't see them. But the 2 people who were running down the beach have now turned this way and are running back. Good for you. You go. I'm high-fiving you from up on my balcony. Good for you. Okay, so back to yesterday afternoon on our balcony. So life's been really stressful and hard, and we just had a very slow afternoon of watching life on the beach unfold in front of us. So I want to share with you a couple of the things that we witnessed, which were quite lovely. The first of which was there was a wedding on the beach. So we discerned that it was two women who were getting married, which is it was just so lovely. They appeared to be a little bit older, meaning they weren't in their 20s. They looked like they had, lived some life. And it was an enormous wedding party. I think we counted 20 people standing up for the wedding. And 10 of the women were in gowns, and then 10 of the people, which included, I guess, both genders and perhaps non-binary. I'm not trying to assign anything to anybody, but there were mostly women in tuxedos, in suits. And so half the wedding party was in dresses and the other half was in suits. They looked amazing. And there was such happiness. Like, everyone was so happy, as you should be at a wedding. And so Wes and I just sat here for hours. Because first, the wedding party, including the two people getting married, came out on the beach for their pre-wedding photographs. So we got to see them before they were married, and they both looked amazing. And one of the women was in a long, flowing, sort of traditional bridal gown, and the other woman was in a beautiful pink tuxedo. I mean, they looked gorgeous. And there was just so much happiness as everybody shuffled around in different groups to take their photos. And Wes and I are just, up here, just watching and celebrating for them. We're happily married, and I think anytime we can witness another couple getting married, we are just so happy for them. So we were saying prayers for them. I was like, please God, let them grow old together, let them live a long and happy life, and just may their life be filled with love and beauty and grace. And so their happiness was infectious in the best way possible. When we talk about being empaths, we often talk about picking up the heaviness of the world. But what also is infectious? Joy. So we just sat here, just feeling the joy of everyone involved, everyone in the wedding party. The 20 or so people in the wedding party, I think it must have been their parents. We thought it was their parents. The kids who were in the wedding party, they were just all so happy. And then so they were in one part of the beach and they took photos, and then they decided to come down to our part of the beach to take photos so we could be even closer in on the action. And I said to Wes, I want to shout congratulations to them. And he says, no, don't. This is their moment. And I thought, okay, I won't do that then. So that was just the first part of our delight feast yesterday, being on the beach. The second amazing, fun, joyful thing that happened was this, I'm going to say flock of seagulls, even though I know Wes is saying no, it's one seagull. He wants me to tell you about the one seagull who I named Lenny. Are we calling him Lenny? Okay, Wes says yes. Let me tell you about one seagull named Lenny. So, the beach was fairly crowded yesterday, but not crowded like a really crowded beach. I just mean there were different pockets of people dispersed on the beach. And they had their blankets out, and they had their bags, and typically if you're going to the beach and bags, you have snacks, right? Because that's what we do. We have snacks and I don't know what else was in their bags. I'm too far away to know, but Seagull, Lenny, knew, because he's a seasoned seagull. He knows this is his beat. Oh, there's a sea lion oh, you guys, there's a sea lion just popped her head out and dived back in. Wait, they'll come up. Wait, I'll come back to Lenny, but let's just see if the seagull oh, there's three. 1, 2, 3. There's 3 seagulls, you guys. There's 3 sea lions that are in front of us right now. Oh, so I'm sharing that sea lion swimming vibe with you. Okay, so back to Lenny. So 2 girls, or women, I don't mean to, I don't know how old they were because we're on the 4th floor of our balcony, had gone up to the water. Now, meanwhile, right next to where we are, there are 2 beach volleyball courts, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But this one guy, we think knew the volleyball players, but all of a sudden I see him using his cap to wave away Lenny, the seagull, from the bag of the 2 women or girls who had just gone up to the water. And I pointed that out to Wes, and Wes goes, yeah, that's because the seagull's trying to get to their stuff. So the guy waves away the seagull, and then he takes one of their towels and puts it over the bag. A really nice thing to do. And then he walks away because people help each other out on the beach. Another thing, random acts of kindness we witnessed yesterday. That was a random act of kindness. But Lenny would not be dissuaded. So Lenny watches the guy walk away, probably thinking sucker under his breath, his seagull breath. And he comes back and he starts poking around in bags and he's starting to take things out of the bags. And Wes and I are just laughing because this seagull's brilliant. He's a genius. Talk about, the evolution of consciousness. But he didn't see anything in the first bag, but he knows there is something in the bag that the blue cap guy covered up with a pink towel. So, Wes is motioning me to something. Oh, okay, wait, I'll get to that in a second. Yes, I saw that. Okay, wait, I'll tell you what it is. Well, I'm going to wait. I'm going to build in some suspense. Let me finish about Lenny, and then I will tell you about what Wes just motioned to me to. See, I told you a different kind of podcast episode. So Lenny goes to the bag that has now been covered with the pink towel, and he gets in there, and he gets a bag of chips. Because you can know what a bag of chips is from 4 stories away. And he's like running around in circles, victorious. And meanwhile, somebody else notices that and comes over and tries to scare Lenny away. And then the 2 girls run back up from the water, and Lenny is what was the word? Daunted? What was he? He was undaunted, but meaning he was like his plan was someone put the kibosh on the plan of the chips. And listen, just so you know, I've told you about my love for Trader Joe's. I believe that the bag of chips that Lenny was trying to abscond with is the bag of the lentil crunchy curlies. I said to Wes, that's a Trader Joe's bag. I recognize it anywhere. So the girls come back, and so that particular site now is off limits to Lenny. But Lenny, he got it. He knows what he's doing. He just hangs out nonchalantly. Like, I'm just hanging out here. And sure enough, another group, and these were young women. They were girls. They were like high school-y girls. They now leave their site unattended and go up to the water. So Lenny has a partner, and we didn't name the partner. So you can name the partner. And what is his name? Wes wants to name the partner Myrtle. I'm not sure about that, so I'm going to let you all decide what the partner's name is. Oh, Wes says Myrtle is the smart one. Okay, so they start going after the second site now. And they get more stuff. And they get this bag. We couldn't tell what was in the bag, but Lenny is all over this bag, attempting to open it. And now all the seagulls descend. And they're all posturing for dominion of this bag. which Lenny is not giving up without a fight. And again, there was another bag of chips involved that somebody got into, and then another girl came running over to scare away the seagulls, which don't get scared away. A little seagull story aside, I was once at SeaWorld in San Diego back in the day, I don't know, 30 years ago or so, and you can buy fish to feed the dolphins. It's a really sad scenario now that I think about it, but I just have to tell you the story. So I buy my fish, happily getting ready to feed the dolphins, and I got dive bombed by a seagull who hit my head and then snatched up the fish because I screamed like a little girl. And then we noticed that there is a sign that says, warning, seabirds can be aggressive. So now I live my life knowing that seabirds can be aggressive when food is involved, but I don't worry about it because I don't walk around carrying fish. But it was so funny now knowing that, seabirds are very aggressive when it comes to food. Watching these birds, Lenny especially, casing the joint for opportunities to steal food, especially bags of chips, from unsuspecting beachgoers. We just were laughing and we were rooting for Lenny. Like, listen, we're people. We can get chips anywhere. Seagulls, this is a rarefied opportunity in their diet. So Wes and I were just laughing, watching this whole shenanigans play out in front of us for a good hour, and probably 2 hours if you take into account the wedding photos and the seagulls and then let me tell you about the volleyball players. So there's two beach volleyball nets right here near the hotel, and we watched these young people, they must have been college aged, all in fantastic shape, both men and women, playing amazing games of beach volleyball. I mean, they have played this in college or something. They know what they're doing. This was not just random beach people playing. This is their gig. So it was fascinating to watch them play volleyball. We had the best time. So it's like our beach-sized TV screen here really provided us with a lot of nourishing entertainment in the best way possible yesterday, and I think it's just what my nervous system needed for sure, because I think with as much heaviness as been in the world, this ability to be around so much happiness was really good for me. So I'm going to give you we'll take a little break in the storytelling as I describe to you what is happening on the beach now. The sun has risen officially. The fog is coming in. So the man with the dog on the leash is now walking back, and there's a person with a metal detector combing the beach. I'm fascinated by this idea of metal detecting, just so you know, now that we're into coins. I said to Wes, we should get a metal detector. Maybe we'll find, you always hear these stories of somebody who finds like a coffee can filled with gold coins or something. I want to be that person, but I can't be that person without a metal detector. It's like the lottery. You can't win if you don't play. Not that I think that there are cans of gold, like old Folger coffee cans filled with gold coins here on the beach, but I love a good mystery and I love treasure hunting, but so far I haven't seen this person pick anything up from the beach, but we will tell you if they get down and dig. Wes is keeping an eagle eye on them, so we'll see. But they've got a plastic bag from the grocery store that they are carrying in case they come upon any treasure, and they are carefully combing the beach with their metal detector. Also, the seabirds have come out in force. They are on the water's edge, scurrying in and out for some snacks, some breakfast. Lots of seabird activity here at the beach right now. So I have now described to you what is happening on the beach. And Oh, the dog's now been let off the leash. So this is the second dog. It's not the first dog. He's got seaweed in his mouth that he's playing with. Wait, Wes is telling me something. Oh, okay, got it. So the dog's person has a frisbee. Thank you, Wes. Wes is my co-host today, and she's throwing the frisbee up the beach, and the dog is happily retrieving it and running back, proud as can be. It looks like it's like a little bulldog or pit bull. It's a small dog. I don't think it's a pug. It's kind of small for a pug.
Small for a pit.
Wes,
For a pug, small for a pit.
Wes says he's big for a pug, small for a pit. He's somewhere between a pug and a pit. But he's small, like the size of a pug, but a very happy dog because he's got a frisbee on the beach with its person in the morning. I mean, what else, aside from cookies, do you want as a dog, right? So now it's person, the person just had to put it back on the leash, probably because they're getting towards people again. The metal detector person still doesn't seem to have found anything. Oh, people are walking on the boardwalk now. Many people are walking on the boardwalk now. Well, okay. And, I still need to tell you a little bit about yesterday, because the hotel where we're staying, the pool area is raised up off the beach, and they have the loungers on the pool deck. So Wes and I, we were able to go down to the lounge chairs and watch the wedding, which was awesome. Wait, what?
Front row seat.
Oh, Wes wanted you to know we had a front row seat to the wedding without intruding on the wedding party. So we weren't wedding crashers. We were wedding observers. But it's like if you got to sit in the balcony and watch people get married. And listen, I don't know about you, but I love a good wedding. When people are happy and they're taking their vows. Ooh, the metal detector person just picked something up, but they don't look very excited, but they've hit a patch of something. Okay, but back to the wedding. So we're laying down, we're reclining on our lounge chairs, and this beautiful couple is getting married, and they must have had 100 people there, all who were so happy. Clearly this couple is well loved. Like, so many people were celebrating their union. Like, it felt like this was, a wedding is always meaningful, but you know when it's a wedding of two people that are really beloved, and you've witnessed this for them, and so there was an exuberant love present that we got to sort of bathe in through osmosis without being intrusive. And when they finally got to kiss, we all just applauded. Like, we just erupted. We were so happy for them. And then when the wedding was over, we went down to the beach, and then we had our beach walk. And we put our feet in the ocean and walked the beach, and Wes found more rocks and a beautiful piece of driftwood. And I think I was degaussed, as Wes had hoped. Or somewhat. Wes just rolled his eyes. So apparently I'm not fully degaussed yet. Perhaps I'm just a little bit degaussed. What percentage degaussed am I, Wes?
You're happier, that's what counts.
Okay, Wes says I'm happier, and that's what counts. Doesn't mean I'm happy. Happier, it's a spectrum. So I have been able to release some of the heaviness I had been carrying. It's still here, but I've been cleared. I'm clearing, I guess I would say. So we still have a few days here. We have a full day today with nothing. We have no thingness today. So we're going to have a day of no thingness. And I'm just really grateful. And I'm grateful I get to share this with you. I'm hoping the medicine of the ocean is supporting you the way it's supporting us. And we've been together through the sunrise. when I came out here, it was dark and the seals were barking and the world was very still, and it's been fascinating in the last half hour how things are coming to life. And I wonder what everybody's story is, like the person who gets up with their metal detector at sunrise. Like I wanna meet people and know their story. It's like the couple that got married yesterday. I want to meet them. I want to know their story. I said to Wes, I wish I knew them. I wish I was their friend. Because I would love to know a group of people that is that in person. I know a lot of people like that, but I mean to be a part of a soul family like that that is so happy and celebratory and are coming together for this beautiful moment. I want to be a part of that, you know. And, you know, it was their wedding. It was not an appropriate time to say, hi, I'm Laurel, can I be your friend? But I wanted to know their story, and I wanted to know the story of the people playing on the beach, of the volleyball, because they were so good. When did you start playing? And one of the guys who was playing is clearly an athlete, because they were also tossing the football on the beach, and wow, he could toss that football. It would spin and go exactly where he wanted it to go. And it's nice. It's nice being in a place where we can observe people and think, I would love to know their story. I'd love to know them. Like the guy with the metal detector. What's his story? What's been his greatest find so far? How often does he do this? Would you like to know? I'm not going down there to ask him though, so don't get over ambitious for me. I'm still in my pajamas after all. So what are some of the other things we saw here yesterday? Lots of people on their surfboards. Although I don't think the surfing was good, but perhaps the bodyboarding was. Yeah, okay, Wes wants me to tell you about the 2 little wetsuit kids. So there was a couple, and they had 2 toddlers. I mean, they were young. And both of them were in their wetsuits and their baby boogie boards. When I was that age, I never got a chance to be in a little wetsuit with a boogie board. Of course, my parents would have never gotten into wetsuits and had boogie boards, but they did take me to the local pool. So I did have a very stylish 60s worthy floral swim cap. I did go to Oakton Pool, but we just were giggling over the little toddlers in their wetsuits. And those are some awesome parents. And then there were a couple of people who had tents on the beach, not big tents, just little tents, I guess, that would protect them from the sun, which is a fantastic idea. If you're fair-skinned like me, it could be at the beach without getting baked in the process. Oh, good. I've been talking for 42 minutes, so we just have a little bit more time. I don't mean it's good. I love my time with you, but I think I've made it through most of what I can talk to you about so far. So we're going to just keep filling in the time, and I'm really hoping to God and the angels that this recording is going to work and turn into something I can share with you. Wes, is there anything you want me to share for you? Okay, Wes wants you to know. Could you hear him whispering? That's what Wes does when we teach classes. He whispers to me, and then he asks me to interpret. It started off clear, and now the fog is rolling in. Actually, it was a glorious sunset yesterday. The sky was pink and blue, like it was a gradient of pink and blue. And you could see the fog rolling in from, that would be Monterey out there, the Monterey Peninsula. The fog was rolling in from the Monterey Peninsula. And it was just beautiful. I have to say, I'm a big fan of this time of day. I like the world when it's a little less busy. It's like deep breath. Deep breath. We can breathe. And just down the block, maybe 2 blocks away from us, Well, first of all, there are a lot more beach volleyball courts, a bunch of them. And then is the famous Santa Cruz boardwalk, which is where they have all the rides and the attractions, and that's about, would you say that's about 2 blocks away from us? Wes says a third of a mile. I don't know what that means blocks-wise, but about a third of a mile away. But the pier is right here at the end of our block, the Santa Cruz Pier. So here we are, listening to Mother Ocean together. I love watching the birds. They're all going for their breakfast. I wonder if they let you fish off this pier, because there are a lot of people driving in. Oh, Wes says you can't, they can fish off the pier, so I would imagine that there are people fishing off the pier right now. There is a jogger. Again, I'm always very impressed by people who jog in the early morning. Way to go. That's fantastic. Oh, Wes wants me to share with you how the birds go scurrying into the surf to pick up their little, whatever they're picking, their bugs up, and then they scurry back. Yeah, they scurry up and they scurry back. How is this for a bonus episode? You're getting Beach and Wes. Wes is my co-host, even though he's not saying anything. He's here. He's holding the light. You are getting some good Wes medicine right now. He's an amazing healer, just so you know. And he loves all of you the way I love all of you. He is a huge part of what I do with Illuminating Souls. If he wasn't Wes, I do not know that Illuminating Souls would exist. So he is absolutely my partner in life and my partner in everything that I do that you get to experience, because he is my favorite person on the planet and my best friend and the most wonderful person, and he supports me and I support him, and we're just very blessed, which I think makes watching the wedding yesterday all the more special. I just have to say, being happily married, I want that for other people, you know, so getting to witness. Wait, Wes is going to say something.
That was a beach wedding that was successful, where ours was washed away.
Okay, you have no context for why I'm laughing right now. Okay, story time. I'm going to tell you a story. So, Wes said he was laughing because this was a successful beach wedding that we saw yesterday, where ours was washed away. Quite literally. You know what? I have not told you the story of our wedding, which is worthy of its own episode. I will bring you the full episode of our wedding and the craziness of our honeymoon in Sedona, because it's a really funny story. But I will give you the Cliff Notes version now. So, Wes and I, we knew we wanted to pretty much elope, because we wanted our wedding to be about us and not be about everyone else. I don't mean that in a bad way, but big weddings become about who's flying in from where and who's going to sit together and who needs a special meal, and like there's a lot of things that go into planning for a bigger wedding. And we really wanted our wedding just to be about us. And at the time, we were studying with Doreen Virtue, who has now taken a 180. Okay, sorry. Wes just had to kill a mosquito. So, so at the time, we had been studying with Doreen Virtue, who has since done a 180 and no longer does this work. And our our dream would be that she and her husband at the time, Stephen Farmer, would perform our wedding ceremony because we just loved them so much. And we had gone to a metaphysical show and seen Doreen, and we told her we were getting married, and she volunteered. She says, why don't Stephen and I marry you? We'll marry you. And Wes and I just, were so excited. We said, really? She goes, yeah, go find Stephen and talk to him. So we run over to Stephen and we said, hey, Stephen, Doreen said that the two of you could marry us. And so that also added into why we wanted such a small and intimate wedding. So we talked to them because we wanted to make it around their schedule and our schedule. So that really had been the game plan, was to just have this very private oasis sanctuary and get married. And we were going to get married on the beach in Laguna. So Stephen knew of a beach we could use that was public. So that had been our plan. And the day before the wedding, I was talking with Stephen to just make sure we had everything, planned out. And I told him we were just going to have one or two people come to be our witnesses. He says, invite more people. Why don't you invite your people? And I thought, oh, well, we hadn't thought of that. Like, we were really just planning on this being a little cocoon of love for us to say our vows, and then we would do a party later. So we called people the day before, and people have busy lives. But we called the people we wanted. I don't want to just say the people we wanted to have there, because there were people we wanted to have there who we didn't have an expectation would fly out, but the local people in Los Angeles, because we were in LA, we had called up, and not all of them could make it because we gave them no notice, but we wound up having about 8 people with us. So here's the part about the beach wedding. So the morning of the wedding, we drive down to Laguna, to the beach where Stephen had told us to meet them, and we had had some bad storms, and the beach was literally washed away. There's a staircase leading down to the beach, and so basically there's the staircase, and then there's an 8-foot drop to the beach because the beach had been washed away. So we had our 8 people coming to that beach, and I had to start calling them and calling Stephen and Doreen and say, the beach doesn't exist. We can't get married here. So what wound up happening is Stephen and Doreen invited us over to their house in Laguna. We didn't actually go in the house, but they had a staircase down to the private beach, which was, 8 stories, 8 flights maybe. And so we had to wait for everyone to get to beach number 1, and then we all had to go en masse to beach number 2, which was where Stephen and Doreen lived, and go down this steep staircase to the beach where we ultimately were married. And Doreen was saying, she says, I can't believe you're not freaking out. I said, why? I'm marrying my best friend. It's all good. Like, at the end of the day, we're going to be married. I don't care. It's fine. And I really was not flipped out about it. But we laugh about how our beach wedding was washed away. And we had to go to Plan B. And then we had to get up the 8 flights of stairs, which, if you have met me, you will know that is not my thing. So Wes is laughing because as he was behind me, and he literally had to push me on my butt to help me get up the stairs because I was failing. By flight 6, I was not in a good way. So he had to sort of heave me up the stairs till we got to
Stairs of death.
what was called some stairs of death, until we got there. So to make a short story long, that is why he was laughing when he said the beach wedding we watched yesterday was successful, whereas ours was washed away. But it didn't matter because we have been married we were counting yesterday, 17 years, happily married for 17 years and going strong. So There's more to our wedding story. I'll make it its own episode because the honeymoon was weird and crazy. Not in a good way. I mean, we're fine, but there's a lot of story to tell you about life. So that will come someday as an episode. But so watching the beach wedding yesterday wound up being a really lovely thing to experience for the couple. So, and to those of you who are not able to be at our Laguna Beach wedding because we didn't give you enough notice, I'm sorry and wish you could have been there, but it was just what it was. You know, it was going to be a little oasis. And it was funny. But life is good and it works out. Okay, so back to our tableau of what is happening on the beach. There is... Oh, okay. Wes said that's the sand painter. So let me explain that to you. But first, let me give you a lay of the land of who's with us. We've got a woman and 3 small dogs. One looks to be a Pomeranian. One looks to be like a little terrier. So there's all 3 small dogs. None of them are leashed. There is a ball involved. The dogs don't seem to be caring much about the ball because the beach is so full of other amazing scents, right? They have just crossed paths with the metal detector person. Now coming up the way, this is the part that Wes whispered, is the sand painter who gets hired to make these sand paintings on the beach with people's initials, like the one in front of us right now that has been here since we got here on Friday, says A and S forever. Oh, in a heart. Wes wants me to share with you that it's in a heart. Oh, the dogs are now chasing the ball. Okay, good for them. So he's coming out to paint something again. He's got a spritzer, which I think has water in it, and something to rake the sand with. We watched him do this the last time we were here, because we were here last February, and it's a fascinating process to watch.
Especially because it can be very ornate.
Wes wants me to tell you, especially because it can be very ornate. I don't know if you can hear Wes whispering in the background. It's just funny, because that's what happens when we teach classes. Wes whispers to me, and he wants me to tell you what he said. And then there's a family on the beach. It looks like there is a small child involved, hence I have called them a family. There's 2 adult-sized people, perhaps a teenager-sized person, but definitely a child-sized person on the beach right now. And someone else with a dog. There's a dog down there, but I can't see very far to know what is happening. But the sand painting guy is getting ready to paint something. I'm not going to record this long enough to tell you what it's going to be because it's going to take a while. So perhaps I'll put it in the show notes once we know what has been painted in the sand, so that you too can know what is transpiring on the beach right now. All right, beautiful friends, I have officially made it to an hour, almost an hour. And I'm really praying that this turns out so that the episode for Wednesday will be recorded. So here we are from our balcony on the beach in Santa Cruz, California. I'm Laurel, and Wes is here, and the angels, and the sea lions, and Mother Ocean, and Father Sky, and all the goodness of the universe is coming to you now. So my beautiful friends, I hope you have a good rest. I hope that this energy soothes and comforts you.
We're signing off from the Angel News Network.
Wes wants me to tell you that we are signing off from the Angel News Network, ANN, and we both love you very much, and we wish you the sweetest of dreams. Know that you are loved, and know that your life and your light matter. You matter. And even if the world is a crazy place right now, there are happy things happening as well, and things that can still make you laugh. We discovered that yesterday, and hopefully there's more of that happening today. So you take good care of yourself. I love you, and thank you so much for allowing me to keep you company. I appreciate you.